Welcome back to the Church of King David. I am your servant, Adaptedon Harris. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what I was meditating on all week about Revelations chapter 17, verse 6. And how they are able to create artificial intelligence. And I think it starts with this verse right here. When John saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints and the martyrs and the blood of the martyrs of Ahawashai. The blood contains DNA. And the DNA is the building blocks to life. It gives instructions to what your life is, your life in particular. Because if they get a hold of your blood, they get a hold of your DNA, then they get a hold of the instructions to your life. And I think that this is what he saw. He saw how they would begin to extract DNA from the whole world. But the primary DNA they want to extract is the DNA of the children of Israel, because Jacob is the former of all things. So you would want to get the DNA of black people because they are the original race upon the face of this planet. They are the chief race. Doesn't mean that we have to be the first race on the planet, but we are the chief race. We are the race in which all other races are based upon. And so I think that this is what he saw. He saw them specifically wanting to extract the DNA from us, right? The saints and the martyrs of Ahawashai, so that they could funnel and create AI, because in order to create AI, they have to take DNA from us. And I'm going to prove that. I'm going to prove that with these screenshots that I took while I was meditating. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to go with this one, and then I'll work my way back to the other ones. So in this screenshot, as you can see, it says data extraction from human blood involves isolating specific compounds like DNA or RNA, which starts with collecting a blood sample and then using lab techniques to break down the cells, separate the desired molecules, and purify them. So AI begins with them extracting data from human blood. Then it goes on in this screenshot. It says AI is using the massive information in DNA as data. This is how they are able to run artificial intelligence. It's from collecting information from your blood, which you freely give to them every time you go visit the doctors. So this is a $1 trillion industry, and you're just giving them the keys for free. You just gave it to them for free. So let me read this again. AI is using the massive information in DNA, the massive. So it's not a little bit. Your body doesn't contain small amounts of information. It contains massive amounts of information. And the main reason why they want to collect this information from the children of Israel is because it's a link to Mashiach. AI is using the massive information in DNA as data to power advancements in genetics and medicine. AI molecules can read, interpret, and even design synthetic DNA sequences to control gene expression, predict disease risk, and develop new therapies. So again, Revelations chapter 17 specifically said that the woman was going to get drunk with the blood of the saints, with the DNA of the saints, and with the DNA of the martyrs of Ahawashai. Because when they really tap into how to extract the purest information from your blood, they're going to want to take it from us above everybody else. Because like I said, it's a link to Mashiach. It's a link to God. Right within inside you, you have a link to God, because Mashiach, Christ, is your biological father. You are an offspring of Mashiach. This is why they elaborated and elevated Christ so far from you that you wouldn't even, most of you didn't realize that you come from him. Like, to find out that Christ is a black man is one thing, but you are a descendant from him. You are a biological descendant. And so they're trying to extract this DNA from you, right? Because within inside your DNA is tons of it's massive amounts of information within inside your DNA, right? Massive information. And somewhere inside all of this information is the Holy Grail to Mashiach. All right, so then I meditated and was led to Revelation chapter 18, verse 13, which says that one of the commodities that the whore of Babylon was trading is the souls of men, or the DNA of men. Now you understand this because that's commonplace to understand that they can sell your information. They're selling your information. They're selling your DNA sequence all over the world to every nation under heaven is buying and selling information that is extracted from your DNA. All right, so then I came here in my meditation and it says DNA is called a building block of life because it contains the genetic instructions for all living organisms to develop, function, and reproduce. It is a molecule that acts as a blueprint dictating inherited traits. Let me say that again. Dictating inherited traits and providing the information for cells to make the proteins necessary for life. Okay, so this is like I said, they're searching for Mashiach. And when they find it, you think that AI is something now? Wait until they break through this sequence. Wait until they can find the DNA that leads to him. This is why I said in videos maybe a year, 2 years ago, don't give them your blood. Don't give them your information. We have to stop doing that because they are trying to crack into his genes, which is hidden within inside you. So then again, I was led to Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11, which says, "For the life of the flesh is in the blood." So if you have blood, you have life. And so if DNA is in the blood, then DNA gives them the instructions to your specific life form. So then I came here and it says the phrase AI comes from blood. So I typed that in. Does not describe the origin of artificial intelligence itself. So it's not denying that AI comes from blood. Okay, I want you to pick up on that. So they're not denying that AI comes from blood, but it says rather it relates to two distinct concepts the use of human data in AI systems and specific applications of AI in the medical field of hemomethology. In a metaphorical sense, the data used to train AI is often referred to as lifeblood. Are you starting to get it now? AI systems do not biologically come from blood, but are created by computer scientists and engineers using algorithms, computational power, and exposure to vast amounts of data. We just read that. Massive information in DNA. So they get your blood and they're extracting DNA from your blood, all of this information that is contained in your DNA. And they're using that to do what? They're using this to train AI. They're using it to run AI. So AI is the collection of DNA from the public. And the chief DNA would come from the children of Israel. So now I'm going to conclude what I was meditating on with this, okay? Because I wanted to know who was collecting the most amount of Black people's DNA. And this is what it says. The two main entities that have collected the largest database of DNA from Black people are the commercial genetic testing companies 23andMe and African Ancestry. So every time you swipe that swab and you sent it back into the lab, they were collecting information from you. You gave it to them for free. Some of y'all, I don't know if you pay for it, but some of y'all even paid for them to extract your specific information, for them to synthetically create a second you. That's what they're doing. They're replicating you inside the AI world. So now there is a second you who they can now run these robots, which is better than you, which is totally faster than you, totally smarter than you. Now, with that being said, I want you to look at this next video of this sister and what she has to say and how she put all of the information that she gathered together. It is simply mind-blowing. But before I close, I just want to come back to here. Revelation 17:6. They are drunk with our DNA. I think it's our DNA that is leading the way for AI. And if Black people stop giving them our genetic information, it would slow down the advancement of AI. So let me read this one more time. Let me read it the way I discerned it. And it says, and I saw the women drunken, right? I saw the nations, I saw America drunken with the DNA of the saints. Because what we're not seeing is what they see behind closed doors in these labs, what they are able to do with our DNA. And it makes them want it more. They want to extract it more. They want to get it more. But the end game is that they're creating a replica of you. And if they create a replica of you, because you freely gave them your blood, they didn't steal it. You freely gave it to them. And I think all of these movies, what all of these movies are talking about is just that. It's just that. This is what's incoming, what you see on this screen, right? It started with the so-called jab. This was a part of their agenda is to create a second you and to start society all over again with a different type of human.
Is 33 billion tons. I've already talked about the number 33 in numerous videos and how significant that number is to the elites. But it will be the closest to Earth on December 19th, 2025. As I was looking at the number December 19th, I was like, that sticks out to me for some reason. And then I looked at this word and saw D19. So could that have been a code for something? If 3i Atlas is a ship, it getting the closest to Earth on December 19th, what could that mean? Like, what's going to happen on December 19th? Well, in order to figure that out, I had to figure out what this word right here meant. So the last name Covey has Italian origins and is linked to a verb covere, which can mean to incubate or hatch eggs. So when I first saw the word incubate, I immediately thought of the World Fairs and how they used to have babies inside of incubators shown for display, as if it was some sort of sideshow attraction. But then I started thinking deeper as it said hatch eggs. And then I remembered those postcards from the early 1900s where they literally used to show babies being hatched from eggs and babies being born from cabbages as if they were manufactured in a lab or something. And if they were created in a lab of some sort, then that would make sense why they were on display for people's amusement. Another definition for incubate is to have an infectious disease developing inside one before symptoms appear. So if this means to have a disease developing inside of you before symptoms appear, then could that mean the symptoms will start appearing on December 19th? Or does that mean that 3i Atlas is carrying some sort of egg that's going to hatch inside this realm? Like, I'm trying to piece it together, y'all. So I looked up another definition of incubate, and the sentence they used this time was, the birds return to their nests and continue to incubate the eggs. Now, I've already talked about how the national bird of the U.S. is the bald eagle. I explained how this is the bird's nest. So if the birds return to their nest to incubate, who would the birds be? Now, if the Anunnaki are those who came down from heaven, if you were to see that, you would depict them as a bird because they are coming from the sky. And many different cultures had different depictions of the Anunnaki. For example, in the Egyptian culture, we have Thoth, and we also have Horus. So could these be the birds that are returning to the nest to incubate their eggs? Who are their eggs? And if that's true, then 3i Atlas would indeed have to be an Anunnaki ship. So on December 19th, what is going to happen to the people that ended up getting this jab? Was the jab actually the placement of the egg that's coming back to be incubated? I really don't know what to make of all of this, you guys. I'm just letting you know my thought process so you can see how I get to my ideas and my theories. But this one I'm still trying to wrap my mind around because it's just, I don't know.
So before I close this video, I want to turn your attention to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9 and piggyback on what she had to say, because Paul here, when he speaks about the lying wonders, he is speaking about the fallen angels having the ability to cause false pregnancies. Because if we go to tools here, and we go down and find out what he actually said, because this is not what he actually said. Okay. He didn't say lying wonders. He said something else. So let's find out what he said. And I tell you, these fallen angels, they did a very good job at concealing all of this from the public. And we thank the Holy Spirit for coming to us to allow us to see through their obscurity. So at the end, none of this would be a lie to us, but that we would actually see the truth and prepare for it. So let's find out what Paul actually said here as soon as it pops up. And I have to tell you, this is very, very scary. All right, so let's go down into tools and find out what he actually said. And this word here, dynamis, it actually has to do with putting the spirit upon the sperma. I believe it was Socrates that spoke about this, and maybe I'll find it. I didn't find it for this video, but I can prove that to you. So this is what Paul is speaking about, that them putting the spirit upon the sperma to cause these false pregnancies. So in other words, they are going to use something other than human sperm to cause these pregnancies. So let's go down here and find out what line means. Pseudo, which means false or fake, and teras means pregnancy. And what type of pregnancy? All right. Teras is a Greek word for wonder, miracle, a medical term for a grossly malformed and usually non-viable fetus, like a monster. Okay, and so this is what Paul was warning us about, that there is going to come a time that these false pregnancies would pop up. And I think that this is what she is connecting from C19, December 19th, 3-eyed Atlas passing over at this particular time. Is this all connecting to each other? We'll have to wait and see. We have to monitor pregnancies around the world and see if now the world will begin to have children that are born abnormal than what we were used to seeing. So with that, I say shalom, and I see you brothers and sisters in the next video.